Public schools have proven themselves during the pandemic of how important they are to the community and how important the community is to public schools. Public schools don't just educate the community, they also make the community. And so during Public School Week, this is a time that we should celebrate the importance of public schools in the United States.
We're just a small community that has so many different things intertwined. The fishing intertwines in with the arts. The summer economy and what's happening in the summer affects our livelihoods in the winter. And we know that we all need to take care of each other.
School Union 76 is made up of 5 schools.
We are located in Hancock County, Maine.
The Brooklyn School.
Sedgwick Elementary School.
Idaho School.
Deer Isle Stonington Elementary School.
And Deer Isle Stonington High School.
Everybody came together and we continued to use the idea of team. When I look at the year of the pandemic, the thing I felt really good about in SU76 was the fact that I thought everybody would work together. It started with the school boards trusting us, and then it moved to the staff, to the parents, the students, and the community.
The teamwork, the camaraderie, and the humor in doing all this, it's been almost like a trend-setting moment for our school district.
I have been so impressed with how the staff, teachers, and students of Union 76 have adapted to our new reality. The input of so many across the school union was invaluable, shared the workload of the administration, and created buy-in across the union. Everyone, parents, teachers, kids, staff, I think everyone is just a lot more patient and a lot more willing to just take a step back and try before quickly jumping the gun and saying, no, we can't do that.
I think there has been an exceptional level of teamwork. I think it's started from the leadership on the administration side. Certainly Chris has done a remarkable job getting everybody to work together.
We started the plan in February when the pandemic was starting in the West. So we started to look at if we had to go remote, what would we need?
The first huge challenge was technology. We didn't have one-to-one devices for each of our students. And worse than that, there's whole sections of the island that don't have access to the internet. We had some really forward-thinking administrators, the superintendent and the school board, that thought ahead to one-to-one. And they came up with a huge plan for how to get an iPad into the hands of every student in this school.
These teachers and staff members are working harder this year than they've ever worked in their entire lives. And not a single complaint, because they know that we're all in this together and they love the kids.
If you think about a teacher's classroom, that's really their office, that's their space. And so asking someone to change the very space around them that really tells kids who they are and what they believe to start their school year is a big ask, and they just made it happen.
Planning things out requires a lot more time, and I found that I have to do what they're going to do and make sure that I'm 6 feet away from wherever the next person is going to be. It's not something that's going to make my mask get all messed up. You plan your week, but you also plan your week for COVID.
The teachers have let at least both my kids kind of go. They're not keeping them into one particular subject or level. They're just go. But they're not restricting them, so they're letting them kind of excel on their own.
I love the focus on social and emotional learning. It's like we're all watching for that because there's a push this is hard for them and we need to be aware of that.
I teach music and performing arts, so the biggest challenge is that we haven't been able to sing. But over the summer, I had to come up with new and innovative ideas for what the kids could do and still have some type of music in their life. And that was sign language. And the kids and I just kind of learned together.
When we started with food delivery, everybody within the community saw that as a support.
Last March, when we first went out with COVID-19, and the big question is, how do we feed the kids? We had almost 370 families that we were delivering to. And the coordination between the food service staff, trying to get the packaging down, the types of food, and the bus drivers, I think were the key, because they knew the students, they knew the routes, they knew the homes. And then we've got a consistent number of staff, high school teachers, a lot of the ed techs from the elementary school, the custodians, and we also had many parents.
I would say we think our students are amazingly resilient. We were so worried about how the changes would feel to them when they came in, and there were signs everywhere about where to go and how to space and what to do, and they were expected to keep their mask on their face, and I thought, oh, how's this going to go? But they just really readily accepted that that's what needed to happen so that we could be here.
I've been really impressed with the kids' adaptability and resilience through all of this. We weren't sure how it was going to go back before school started, and everyone just showed up and has been fantastic.
Normally for 8th grade, there's a lot of like opportunities and things we get to do. You know, like we go on trips or we do fundraisers or we have dances. But this year we haven't been able to do any of that, which is like it's a weird experience because, you know, I think that's the thing a lot of kids look forward to.
We've had to do a lot of work with using our words for how we're feeling, and that's hard because when you're 5, you don't always know what you are feeling inside. So we've done a lot more social emotional work this year.
It's interesting because I think sometimes they handle this a lot better than we as adults do. If I'm letting them sit on the floor and draw, they make sure they're 6 feet apart, their shields are up, and they do it and they don't complain.
Theater was like the release at the end of the day. Since I did costuming, I would be on Snapchat with people and they would send me pictures of their closet, and I would pick out items and make costumes out of that so that no one was touching anything else.
They've really done well with reminding each other of, oh, put your mask. We have a little thing where I touch my chin and nose, so they know now if someone has their mask down, they just do the signal and they pick it up.
At first it was like hard, like wearing a mask all the time, but then I kind of adjusted to it a little bit and tried to make the best of it.
Last spring, I was teaching a class on ELA through drama, which was reading plays and sort of essentially doing English through plays. And it turned out to be the exact perfect class to do in a quarantine situation because we went through a lot of material, and every morning at 8:30 these kids came on. We had students who would tune in to the Google Meet in their car, in a barn.
Everyone's used to online school now because we've had it last spring. So when we're going back into online and stuff, everyone knows what they're doing.
Remote learning was nice because I got to see my family and I didn't have to wear a mask.
Our parents met over the summer, and then we all were happy to say that we wanted the kids in school following whatever protocol has been. We did a lot more last year in terms of cooperation between parents and students. So that's the only thing that we're missing is just parents want to help, but if it's for outdoor activities only, like if we go snowshoeing.
Kids are resilient and they're doing great. You know, is it perfect? Absolutely not. But are they learning? Yeah, they're learning.
At the beginning of the year, we always teach in 1st grade community. We teach government, importance of community, what is a community. And I thought it fit in very, very nicely with what we are dealing with right now, the pandemic, and how our communities are trying to help one another.
We have worked with Martha Bell at IHT, Island Heritage Trust. We were really bummed that we couldn't potentially do any field trips this year. And she was so flexible working with us.
Island Heritage Trust and the schools have had a long-term relationship. So every grade goes to a different preserve twice a year, and with the idea that K through 7, by the time they get to 7th grade, they've been to 8 different preserves that are on the island. But we have to be adaptable, so we have done plenty of Zoom classes and Google Classroom. We have even done video of field trips. When the kids couldn't get out to field trips, we'd go to the site and we'd talk a little bit about what was going on and showing the discoveries that we made.
The Brooklyn Fire Department has graciously volunteered to bring us water for a skating rink to bring joy to the children and the members of the community. So they're bringing us 11,000 gallons of water so we can have a skating rink for February break.
Our student chef program has come and taken on this huge role this year. The kids that are in the program love it, but they've been making things for kids and for the adults. But it's really been a real positive thing.
We have a culinary arts program led by Cheryl Wixon. Even as I speak right now, we have, I think, 4 or 5 kids in the kitchen cooking.
On Wednesdays, they cook for usually up to 50 folks here at the school. Sometimes it's been the entire school, like when we did the Thanksgiving meal that we offered to everybody.
We've always worked with the Island Community Center, but this year their mission and our mission really went together very well. They had the projects and the ideas for outreach, and we had the children in person.
I think this challenge will inevitably lead to a school system which is better capable of meeting the next challenge.
When the pandemic is over, I'm really excited to just be able to hug all my friends and see most of my family.
My kids actually being able to be near their friends instead of 6 feet away, and all the things that kids are supposed to be able to do. Sleepovers and, whispering in each other's ears and just enjoying life.
This year we've built in several times throughout the day where they go outside. And now, because they go out so often, and they have to stay in their little grade level cohorts, but they make up games and songs and they build things. They have come up with so many creative and fun ways to enjoy being outside. I don't ever want to take that away.
The second grade out there looking at snowflakes as they're falling down on their mittens, just suddenly noticing how important it is to notice the world around you. And I think that's where we're headed next. I think we're headed to putting all those things that we've been working so hard on together and maintaining them, but taking them outside.
So in 38 years in education, as a substitute, as a teacher, as a principal, as now a superintendent, I couldn't be more proud of a group of people that I've been involved with than School Union 76. The students and staff and parents and community of Brooklyn, Sedgwick, Deer Isle, Stonington, and Isle Ho have come together with a common goal. And I couldn't be more proud of these 5 towns.